The Dallas Mavericks are quietly building something that could shake the entire NBA. But it's not Luka Doncic or Kyrie Irving making the headlines this time. It's Quentin Grimes. Yes, the same player you likely overlooked, who's becoming a hidden weapon capable of transforming the Mavs season. His recent performances have exposed a terrifying truth. The Mavericks may have found the key to dominating both ends of the court. Stick around because what we're about to reveal could change how you see the Mavericks forever. Quentin Grimes came to Dallas without much fanfare. Known in New York as a solid 3-and-D role player, Grimes wasn't expected to become a major factor. But something changed when he arrived in Dallas. The system, the coaching, and the opportunities have unlocked a version of Grimes that no one saw coming. In his last 3 games, Grimes has averaged 24.3 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 steals, while shooting a blistering 53% from beyond the arc. For context, these aren't just good stats for a role player. They're elite numbers that put him in conversations with some of the league's best two-way players. Therefore, Grimes isn't just a nice addition anymore. He's turning into a cornerstone for the Mavericks' success. What sets Grimes apart isn't just his scoring, it's his defense. His lateral quickness, anticipation, and ability to navigate screens make him one of the most versatile defenders in the NBA right now. Grimes is currently ranked 7th in the league for ball screen navigation. This means he can predict and counter offensive moves before they even happen. For example, in a recent game, Grimes anticipated a screen from DeAndre Ayton, timed his steal perfectly, and turned it into an easy transition bucket. But it's not just about stats. It's how Grimes uses his defensive skills to disrupt opponents' rhythm. Mavericks coach Jason Kidd even said, "He's one of the best defenders we've had, especially on pick and rolls." This level of trust from Kidd explains why Grimes leads the team in plus-minus, a stat that measures a player's overall impact on the game. Grimes credits his time with the New York Knicks, specifically under coach Tom Thibodeau, for shaping his defensive mindset. In a recent interview, Grimes said, "Coach Thibs gave me the toughest assignments early in my career, guarding all-stars and superstars. That taught me how to stay locked in every possession. This defensive pedigree is now paying dividends in Dallas. But his time in New York also instilled a toughness and physicality that sets him apart from other guards. When opponents try to post him up, Grimes doesn't just hold his ground, he thrives in those moments. Defense might be Grimes' calling card, but his offensive evolution is what's turning heads. Playing alongside high-gravity players like Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving has opened up the floor for him. For instance, when Luka drives into the paint and draws double teams, Grimes is left wide open on the perimeter, and he's capitalizing on those opportunities, shooting 41% from 3 this season, an impressive jump from last year's 36%. But Grimes isn't just a catch-and-shoot player. He's added physicality and patience to his offensive game. One highlight play against Karl Anthony Towns showed Grimes driving in transition, bumping a bigger defender off balance, and finishing with a smooth layup. This combination of finesse and strength is making him a nightmare to guard. What most people overlook about Grimes is his emerging playmaking ability. In one play, Grimes received a pass in the corner, but recognized the defensive mismatch. Instead of forcing a contested shot, he drove into the lane and dished it to Daniel Gafford for an easy and one. Moments like these show that Grimes isn't just a scorer or a defender. He's becoming a complete player. His ability to make smart decisions under pressure adds another layer to the Mavericks' offense. Grimes' breakout isn't happening by accident. The Mavericks system under Jason Kidd is tailor-made for a player with his skill set. Kidd's philosophy emphasizes spacing, ball movement, and defense, 3 areas where Grimes excels. According to Kidd, Grimes understands the game at a high level. He's physical, smart, and unselfish. Playing with Luka and Kyrie gives him opportunities to shine, and he's making the most of it. But there's another reason Grimes is thriving: confidence. When a player feels trusted by their coach and teammates, it can elevate their performance. Grimes is playing with a swagger that shows he knows he belongs on the big stage. With Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving leading the offense, the Mavericks needed a defensive anchor and a reliable third option. Grimes is filling that role perfectly. His ability to guard multiple positions, knock down shots, and make plays in transition gives the Mavericks a dynamic weapon they've been missing. Therefore, Grimes isn't just a role player anymore, he's a game changer. And as the playoffs approach, his impact will only grow. What's even scarier is that Grimes is just scratching the surface of his potential. His defensive instincts combined with his improved shooting and playmaking suggest he could become one of the league's best two-way players in the coming years. But there's one thing holding him back: consistency. If Grimes can maintain this level of play throughout the season, the Mavericks could emerge as serious contenders in the Western Conference. Looking ahead, the Mavericks front office has to be thrilled with Grimes' development. Players like him are hard to find. Someone who can lock down opponents on defense while also contributing on offense. But the real question is, can the Mavericks capitalize on this momentum? With Luka and Kyrie commanding attention, Grimes could be the X factor that pushes this team over the top. So is Quentin Grimes the missing piece the Mavericks need to contend for a championship? Or will he become just another promising player who couldn't sustain his breakout? One thing's for sure, the Mavericks have been hiding a monster, and the rest of the NBA is about to find out. The only question is whether it's already too late to stop him. The Dallas Mavericks are no strangers to adversity. After losing the NBA Finals last year and stumbling out of the gate this season, most people were ready to count them out. But now, the Mavericks have gone on a jaw-dropping win streak, proving they're not just back, they're better than ever. They've clawed their way to the knockout rounds of the NBA Cup, showing grit, determination, and a level of teamwork that's nothing short of extraordinary. The way they're playing right now should terrify the rest of the league. Stick around, because what we're about to break down could change how you see the Mavericks this season. It's easy to look at the Mavericks and credit their superstars, Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, for their success. But that's not the full story. This team has found ways to win even when key players have been out. The most recent example? A 15-point comeback victory in the fourth quarter to keep their NBA Cup dreams alive. And here's the kicker. This win didn't just push them through to the next round. It knocked out one of their biggest rivals, the Phoenix Suns. The Suns, who have consistently been a thorn in the Mavericks' side, were eliminated in a game that showcased everything the Mavericks are doing right this season. So how do you pull off a 15-point comeback in a must-win game? It all starts with team basketball. This isn't just about individual brilliance. It's about players knowing their roles and executing them to perfection. Take this play, for example. After a missed shot by the Memphis Grizzlies, Luka Doncic grabbed the rebound and immediately launched a full-court pass that looked more like something you'd see in an NFL game. Spencer Dinwiddie caught it, handed it off to Daniel Gafford, and Gafford finished at the rim with authority. That single play set the tone for the comeback and showed why this Mavericks team is so dangerous. But Gafford wasn't just making plays on offense. He was the anchor on defense as well. In one critical moment, he disrupted a drive by Memphis's Jake LaRavia, poking the ball loose and sparking a transition opportunity. This led to a wide-open three-pointer for PJ Washington on the other end. Plays like these don't just get you back into games. They energize the entire team. And when you're down double digits in the fourth quarter, that energy can make all the difference. With the deficit cut to 8 points, the Mavericks needed a closer. Enter Luka Doncic. Facing Defensive Player of the Year Marcus Smart, Luka calmly came to a stop, hit his signature step-back three-pointer, and brought the Mavericks within 6. It's moments like these that remind you why Luka is one of the most clutch players in the league. But it wasn't just Luka doing the heavy lifting. Spencer Dinwiddie, a player who left Dallas for a stint with the Lakers before returning, stepped up in a massive way. He hit a pull-up three in transition to give the Mavericks their first lead of the game. Moments later, with Kyrie Irving driving into the paint and drawing multiple defenders, Dinwiddie found himself open on the perimeter again. He didn't hesitate, knocking down another clutch three to extend the lead. Therefore, it's clear that this Mavericks team isn't just relying on its stars. Role players like Dinwiddie, PJ Washington, and Daniel Gafford are stepping up in ways that make this team incredibly hard to beat. Even when Klay Thompson struggled with just 4 points, the Mavericks found ways to win. That depth is what separates good teams from great ones, and right now, the Mavericks are looking like a great team. One of the most exciting developments for Dallas has been the emergence of 20-year-old center Derek Lively. Starting over Gafford in recent games, Lively has been a revelation. He's averaging 17 points, 11 rebounds, and 3 blocks per game, providing a defensive presence and transition threat that the Mavericks haven't had in years. His ability to run the floor and finish emphatically at the rim has added a new dimension to their offense. But what's even more intriguing is how Dallas is using Lively as a playmaking hub. By giving him the ball at the top of the key and allowing players like Klay Thompson and Luka Doncic to move off the ball, the Mavericks are unlocking creative ways to score. However, this success didn't happen overnight. The Mavericks' path to the NBA Cup has been a grind. They've had to adjust on the fly, deal with injuries, and integrate new players like Najee Marshall. And while Marshall's contributions often fly under the radar, he's been crucial in key moments. Over a 4-game stretch, he averaged over 20 points per game while playing elite defense. His ability to guard the opposing team's best player and still contribute offensively makes him one of the Mavericks' most versatile weapons. But perhaps the biggest question surrounding this team is Klay Thompson. Limited to just 20 minutes in a recent game, Klay's impact has been inconsistent. Some are even wondering if the Mavericks are better without him. Players like Spencer Dinwiddie and Quentin Grimes have flourished in his absence, leading to speculation about what role Klay will play moving forward. Therefore, the Mavericks face an interesting dilemma. Can Klay find his groove and become the player they need him to be? Or will his role continue to diminish as others step up? What's undeniable is that this Mavericks team has transformed in a matter of weeks. They've climbed from 12th to 3rd in the Western Conference in just 18 days, proving that they're not just surviving, they're thriving. And while there are still questions about sustainability, one thing is clear: this team is built to compete. As the NBA Cup progresses, the Mavericks' depth and adaptability will be their greatest strengths. Players like PJ Washington, Derek Lively, and Najee Marshall are proving that they can handle high-pressure situations, which is exactly what you need in a tournament setting. And with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving leading the charge, the Mavericks have the star power to finish the job. So can the Mavericks sustain this level of play and cement themselves as legitimate contenders? Or will the challenges of a long season catch up with them? What we've seen so far suggests that this team isn't just here to participate, they're here to win. But the road ahead won't be easy, and the margin for error is slim. One thing is certain: the Dallas Mavericks have arrived. They're no longer a team with potential, they're a team that's making it happen. And as the rest of the league scrambles to keep up, the Mavericks are showing that they're not just here to compete, they're here to dominate. Imagine this: Luka Doncic goes down, and the Dallas Mavericks are in desperate need of a spark. The team could have crumbled, but that's not what happened. Instead, Kyrie Irving stepped up, not just as a leader, but as a one-of-a-kind player who's rewriting the rules of modern basketball. Whether he's dazzling defenders on the court or turning isolation plays into easy points, Kyrie has become a problem for the rest of the league. And what's even scarier is that this isn't the Kyrie Irving you thought you knew. Dallas has unlocked a completely different version of him, and the NBA should be terrified. Kyrie Irving has always been known for his handles, his creativity, and his ability to hit impossible shots. But under Jason Kidd's system, Kyrie has reached a new level of efficiency. His isolation plays are practically automatic, with Kyrie converting on a jaw-dropping 58% of them. For context, most elite scorers don't even crack 50% in isolation. But Kyrie? He's not just scoring, he's doing it with ease. This all starts with Kyrie's mastery of the triple threat position. While most players use it as a basic setup, Kyrie turns it into a weapon. Picture this: Kyrie catches the ball in the mid-range, and his defender is glued to him. Instead of over-dribbling, Kyrie throws a simple jab step. The defender backs off just enough, and Kyrie uses that space to nail a perfect mid-range jumper. That's the beauty of his game. It's simple, yet devastatingly effective. But Kyrie doesn't just stop at the first jab step. He uses it to set up even more dangerous plays. In one sequence, Kyrie tested his defender with a quick jab, then faked another before driving into the paint for a floater. Moves like these keep defenders guessing, and when they finally react, it's already too late. Therefore, Kyrie's triple threat game isn't just about scoring, it's about control. He's dictating the pace, the spacing, and the outcome of every possession. Now let's talk about Kyrie's off-ball movement. Most people think of Kyrie as a ball-dominant guard, but in Dallas, he's showing a completely different side of his game. Off the ball, Kyrie is just as lethal. Take this play, for example. Kyrie cuts into the paint, seals his defender behind him, and catches a pass from Daniel Gafford mid-air. Without even landing, he finishes the play with an N1 bucket. His timing, IQ, and concentration in these moments are second to none. But Kyrie's cutting isn't just about flashy plays. It's about exploiting weaknesses in the defense. On one possession, Kyrie noticed that his defender was trailing behind. Instead of jogging up the floor, Kyrie darted into the empty paint. Maxi Kleber set a perfect seal, and Kyrie finished with an uncontested layup. Plays like these show how Kyrie is using his basketball IQ to create easy scoring opportunities without having to dominate the ball. Jason Kidd deserves credit here too. Kidd has been using Kyrie in ways that maximize his strengths while minimizing his workload. For example, Kidd often positions Kyrie as a screener in pick-and-roll actions. At first glance, this might seem unusual for a superstar guard, but the genius lies in the unpredictability. Opposing defenses focus on the ball handler, only to watch Kyrie slip the screen, cut into the paint, and finish at the rim. Therefore, Kyrie's role as a screener adds another layer of complexity to the Mavericks offense. However, this evolution in Kyrie's game doesn't mean he stopped being the dynamic playmaker we all know. When Kyrie does have the ball, it's an absolute show. Whether he's hitting defenders with a hesitation move or threading the needle on a pass, Kyrie's ability to create is unmatched. In fact, he ranks third in the NBA in points per possession on pick-and-roll plays, averaging 1.14 points. This combination of scoring and playmaking makes him nearly impossible to defend. But here's where things get really interesting. The Mavericks have taken some of the playmaking responsibilities off Kyrie's shoulders, allowing him to focus more on scoring. Players like Spencer Dinwiddie have stepped up as secondary ball handlers, freeing Kyrie to operate off the ball. On one possession, Dinwiddie initiated the offense while Kyrie ran through a series of screens. The result? A wide-open three-pointer for Kyrie, made possible by his teammates' efforts. This shift in responsibilities has made Kyrie more efficient, but it's also elevated the entire team. Dinwiddie, for example, has flourished in his new role, averaging career-high numbers in assists and scoring. And when Luka Doncic returns to full health, the Mavericks will have three elite playmakers sharing the court. Therefore, the team's ceiling is higher than ever. But let's not forget about the moments when Kyrie takes over. In a recent game against the Washington Wizards, Kyrie dropped 25 points while making it look effortless. After the game, a Wizards player described the experience of guarding Kyrie as unreal. He said, "You don't even have time to think. He's coming at you the next play." This quote perfectly captures the chaos Kyrie creates on the court. Whether he's setting screens, running pick and rolls, or spotting up in the corner, Kyrie's unpredictability keeps defenses on their heels. And it's not just Kyrie who benefits from this chaos. His presence creates opportunities for everyone around him. Take Spencer Dinwiddie again. When Kyrie and Luka are on the floor, they attract so much defensive attention that Dinwiddie often finds himself with wide-open looks. This gravitational pull isn't just a bonus, it's a game changer. Therefore, Kyrie's impact goes beyond his individual stats. He's making his teammates better, and that's what great players do. But are we really seeing a new Kyrie Irving? The answer is yes. This version of Kyrie is more efficient, more versatile, and more dangerous than ever before. By taking some of the workload off his shoulders, the Mavericks have unlocked a player who can dominate without having to do everything himself. And with Jason Kidd's innovative coaching, Kyrie is thriving in ways we've never seen. So what does this mean for the Mavericks? Simply put, they're contenders. With Luka, Kyrie, and a supporting cast that knows their roles, this team has the tools to compete with anyone. But the real question is whether they can sustain this level of play over an entire season. The early signs are promising, but the NBA is a marathon, not a sprint. One thing is certain, though. Kyrie Irving has unlocked a new level of greatness, and the rest of the league should take notice. Whether he's breaking ankles with his triple threat moves or cutting through defenses like a surgeon, Kyrie is showing why he's one of the most unique talents in NBA history. And with the Mavericks fully embracing his strengths, this could be the beginning of something special. So are the Mavericks finally putting it all together? Or is this just a glimpse of what they're capable of? One thing's for sure, this team and this version of Kyrie Irving isn't going away anytime soon.
You're telling me this might be a Jokic move?
It's not just that Westbrook wants to come to Denver. It's that Nikola Jokic, I'm told, wants him here.
Yeah.
And that gives me a little more belief.
Obviously, a guy like that, it just kind of turns the volume up. Spinal Tap to 11. It's great.
Nikola Jokic has always been a no-nonsense player. He shows up, delivers MVP-level performances, and then goes back to his horses. He's never been involved in front office decisions. Yet, in July, something unusual happened. Jokic made a rare request for a player. Out of all the talent he could have chosen, he asked for Russell Westbrook. Yes, the same Westbrook many critics had written off. Even on media day, Jokic continued to sing the 36-year-old's praises.
I mean, of course, we didn't have a good relationship on the court. We were fighting a lot and talking back and forth, but I know who he is a little bit outside of the court. So great teammate, vocal leadership, the guy who want to listen, the guy who want to follow in the gym. So I think he's a great player for us, and I think he's going to bring us all the good stuff.
After 9 wins and glimpses of the old dangerous Russ, it's becoming clear why Jokic pushed for Westbrook. Coach Michael Malone summoned it up best.
Obviously, a guy like that, it just kind of turns the volume up. Spinal Tap to 11. It's great.
But still, you have to wonder, how can Westbrook possibly make up for the loss of someone like Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, Denver's most reliable shooter? This also brings up another question. Why does Russell Westbrook face so much hate? This is the same guy who gave us one of the greatest basketball memes ever. The clip is undeniably hilarious.
Did you guys lose this game or did the Jazz win this one?
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
And perhaps explains why someone like Jokic would gravitate towards Russ. But humor aside, the disrespect Westbrook receives is baffling. This is a former MVP and the undisputed king of triple-doubles. In fact, the only player with a realistic chance of surpassing his triple-double record is none other than Jokic himself. However, age hasn't been kind with Westbrook. His speed has diminished, his three-point shooting has plummeted below 30%, and teams have struggled to accommodate his ball-dominant style. Critics have been quick to label him as washed, unplayable, and incompatible with modern basketball. His turbulent stint with the Lakers, where he was unfairly scapegoated, only fueled these doubts. Even a brief resurgence with the Clippers wasn't enough to silence the naysayers. Many believed Westbrook's career was nearing its end. Then came Nikola Jokic, advocating for Denver to sign him. That endorsement changed everything. Suddenly, people began to believe again.
You're telling me this might be a Jokic move?
It's not just that Westbrook wants to come to Denver. It's that Nikola Jokic, I'm told, wants him here.
Yeah.
And that gives me a little more belief.
It's clear that Jokic saw something others didn't. He genuinely believed Denver's system could reignite Westbrook's career. But could it? Over the years, the Nuggets have relied heavily on Jokic and Jamal Murray and Caldwell-Pope, stretching the floor as their primary three-point threat. After trading Pope, it seemed obvious that Denver needed another shooter to fill that void. In fact, following the loss of OKC, Jokic himself lamented the lack of consistent shooting.
Actually, we were not there. Neither team didn't shoot the ball really well.
On paper, Westbrook doesn't seem like the answer. With a career three-point shooting average of just 30.5%, he's hardly the sharp shooter Denver needed. At 36, his declining athleticism also limits his ability to dominate games like he used to. Defenders often sag off him, daring him to shoot, and his ball-dominant style raised concerns about disrupting Denver's fluid, team-orientated offense. But surprisingly, none of these issues have materialized. What Westbrook lacks in shooting, he more than makes up for with his relentless leadership and intensity. He's a tireless competitor who leaves everything on the court, an invaluable quality for the team. The Nuggets have found a way to capitalize on everything Russell Westbrook brings to the table. His energy and intensity aren't just admirable, they're contagious.
That's every day, and that's what you admire and respect about it, Vic, because that's just how he's wired. And I love it, man. Those are the intangibles, and he pushed his guys in front of him. He pushes his guys on his team, the team he's competing against.
Those intangibles are priceless. Westbrook's pace and passion have undeniably brought a spark to Denver, reshaping the team dynamic in ways no one fully anticipated. When he first arrived, the biggest question was whether he could minimize his weaknesses and lean into his strengths. So far, the answer has been a resonating yes. Offensively, Westbrook has displayed flashes of synergy with Jokic, averaging 18 points and 6 assists on 50% shooting when they share the court. At the time of this writing, the Nuggets are undefeated when Westbrook dishes out 10 or more assists in a game. Perhaps the most surprising stat is his 3-point percentage, which has been higher than Klay Thompson's so far this season. This isn't just a fluke. It shows that when Russ plays in rhythm and within the system, he can adapt his game to both his age and the demands of modern basketball. But where Westbrook has truly stood out is on the defensive end. He's been making clutch plays and key stops, proving that his commitment to the team extends beyond scoring. What's undeniable is the way Nikola Jokic has helped unlock Westbrook's potential in Denver. Jokic's incredible court vision allows him to anticipate Westbrook's cuts, setting him up for easy in-rhythm buckets. In return, Russ has embraced Jokic's unselfish style of basketball, contributing in ways that go beyond the stat sheet. Whether it's initiating fast breaks or locking down defensively, Westbrook has fully bought into Denver's system. But will this be enough to change his narrative? Westbrook's career has been a roller coaster since his MVP season in 2017. After bouncing between 5 teams in just 4 years and enduring a reputation hit during his time with the Lakers, many doubted if he had anything left in the tank. Interestingly, NBA legend Oscar Robertson predicted much of what Russell Westbrook has faced. Robertson once shared a private conversation with Russ.
We're in a room by ourselves talking. I said, I'm happy for you, but man, I said, they're going to turn on you.
Wow, you told him that?
Yeah.
I remember seeing him in the locker room. When Russell walked in, he was in the locker room waiting on him. I seen that. Yeah.
I said, they're going to turn on you because they're going to expect you to do this every night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if you do it, you don't win, they're going to blame you.
Despite all the criticism surrounding Westbrook, Nikola Jokic saw something others missed. Jokic recognized a player who still had the drive and skills to contribute at the highest level. Westbrook's revenge game against the Lakers highlighted exactly why Jokic pushed for him. On key plays, Jokic's court vision didn't just give Russ confidence, it created so much space that Russ didn't have to force contested shots. Instead, he thrived in situations tailored to his strengths. But can this duo take the Nuggets all the way to another championship? Westbrook's arrival hasn't just added energy to Denver's rotation, it's proven he can still make a significant impact when paired with an unselfish star like Jokic.
Traits that you...
Yeah, I think it's, honestly, I don't think it's a comparison. I think he's, as we all know, he sits in a kind of category of his own. He's so unique in the sense of he's so unselfish, and he loves to be able to make the game easy for his teammates, and he's done that. And
Westbrook's speed and court awareness have complemented Jokic's ability to pick apart defenses. Russ has excelled as a cutter and secondary playmaker, with Jokic consistently rewarding his energy with precision passes. This synergy has been critical for maintaining Denver's offensive efficiency, especially with injuries to key players like Jamal Murray and Aaron Gordon. Westbrook's improved shot selection and the open looks Jokic creates have also contributed to his increased consistency. Add to that his defensive resurgence, highlighted by critical plays where he's outmaneuvered opponents, and it's clear Russ still has the ability to make game-changing plays on both ends of the floor. However, the real test lies ahead. When Jamal Murray returns to the lineup, Westbrook will likely shift into a reduced role, primarily anchoring the second unit. The challenge for Russ will be maintaining his rhythm and effectiveness with fewer minutes, something that has been a struggle in the past. Bringing Russell Westbrook to Denver wasn't just a basketball decision, it was about giving a misunderstood star a chance at redemption. Jokic's influence is evident in Westbrook's revitalization, and the early results prove this partnership is anything but accidental. Jokic saw both the risks and the potential rewards, and his reasoning was simple. Westbrook's pace, energy, and relentless competitive fire could address gaps left by the departures of key contributors like Bruce Brown and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. However, one issue still looms: the need for a reliable shooter. And when Jamal Murray returns, Westbrook's ability to maintain this form and rhythm in a likely reduced role will be critical. If Russ continues to fully embrace the system though, the Nuggets could boast one of the most dynamic rotations in the league. With Jokic's trust and Denver's established winning culture, there's every reason to believe Westbrook can thrive in this adjusted role. This season could become a defining chapter in his career, not just as a superstar, but as a player who evolved, adapted, and proved he still belongs at the highest level.